Good morning, I'm Steve from Quantamize, and you're watching the Quantamize Global AM Markets Preview, where it's all about uncomplicated investment, great data, and all the trades you'll ever need. And remember, everything's free. So let's get started.
Good morning. Today is May 2nd, 2019. Still recovering from a cold, so please excuse the coarseness of my voice. The Bank of England holds rates steady, lifts its growth forecast, and suggests more rate hikes will be needed if its forecasts are reached. Net, I'm taking this as a positive, given the improving outlook for the British economy. On our side of the pond, U.S. stock futures are edging up after the U.S. Fed yesterday implied we might be entering a Goldilocks scenario for U.S. stocks, with no rate hikes in sight. Despite this positive news, I'm spending my time this morning looking at low levels of volatility in U.S. stocks, and running scenarios to see what happens if the VIX were to bounce back from 14 to the 16 to 17 range. Now remember, the VIX is simply a measure of demand for 30-day puts on the S&P 500, and a rise in the VIX doesn't portend a stock sell-off. Of course, a spike in the VIX could. In a scenario where the VIX is more normal, around 16 to the 17 range, what stocks would you want to own? That is what I'm considering. Still come back to the point I mentioned the other day, that emphasizing the quality value factor makes the most sense. Stocks with high quality value factor scores will typically hold up better in an environment where risk premiums in markets are more normal. Now let me tell you about some really important stock news you need to be following this morning. Qualcomm reports fiscal 2Q results that beat consensus. However, fiscal third quarter EPS guidance trails analyst expectations. I'm a little cautious towards Qualcomm. Not a favorite of our Quantamize models, and the Apple settlement catalyst is behind it. Starbucks is recalling a coffee press it sold in its stores. Starbucks is recalling roughly 263,000 Budum coffee presses it sold in its store in a voluntary recall due to its potentially breaking during use. Starbucks informed the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission about this. The presses were sold from 2016 until this past January. The cost of the recall could top $5 million for Starbucks if all presses are returned. This just isn't good press for Starbucks, but I doubt it will really materially impact the stock price. Starbucks remains a top idea for us this month, and I'd probably be buying on the dip today if it sells off on this news. And finally, Dunkin Brands reports first quarter results that beat consensus, but gives 2Q guidance that totally disappoints. Dunkin' Donuts same-store sales were strong and came in ahead of market expectations, while Baskin-Robbins trailed analyst estimates. If the stock sells off on guidance, probably would buy the dip. Now the joke internally here is that I drink so much Dunkin' coffee, I should be a brand ambassador. I'm still waiting for the company to call me and ask me to be one.
I hope you found this video helpful and useful. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and leave a comment below, shoot us a tweet, or send us an email. Tell us what you think about the Global AM Markets Preview and what else you'd like us to include. I'm Steve from Quantamize, and you were just watching the Global AM Markets Preview here at Quantamize.